welcome back to the channel. So today, got a couple different things. First of all, we're going to change the fuel filters, or the fuel filter and the water separator in this truck today. I have to go get the parts. We also got a billet fuel drain for it because the stock ones are plastic. So I will show you better once we get the parts. Might also get a toolbox today, I'm not quite sure, because I'm really sick of my straps laying all over the back seat of my truck, because all it's doing is making a big mess, and it's moving my mat around, and it's just a shit show. I'm sick of all this shit, and then all my straps are, like the whole mat slid backwards, and the straps are all over. Yeah, it's a fucking pain in the ass. So I might get a toolbox today, I don't know. If I get one, it'll either be for the truck or my trailer. I don't know if I really want to put one on the trailer because I wanted to build ramps up on top of my gooseneck. And I don't really want to put them in the toolbox in front of the gooseneck because I don't want the straps to get all rotted and wet and shit because that's not sealed very well. So, don't quite know what I'm going to do yet. I got to call my dad and see what his thoughts are on that. So, we're going to get the fuel filter and the water separator filter so we can put in that fuel drain. And then possibly a toolbox, we'll see. All right, guys, welcome back. So it's actually nighttime now because Tanner was busy in here earlier. So we got the truck in the garage now, and it's kind of funny because the only way to get this truck to fit in the garage is to load the box full of shit. And by shit, I mean 2 sets of wheels and tires, and I mean it clears by like that much because otherwise it hits that on the sunroof. So yeah, but we got it in here. So the whole video is mainly talking about, well, it's changing filters, but mainly this little piece from SPE. So what this does is it's the fuel drain that goes underneath on your water separator, which I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this without my flash on, but it's actually that piece right there. You can't see it, so hang on. There. So now you can see it. Why is there a weird glare? That is so weird. Okay, anyway. We'll just ignore that for a second. But it replaces that little yellow piece right there with this. And really, the reason for it and why I do it from living in Wisconsin is that stock piece is just plastic. And all that holds it on are these 2 little metal, well, this one on here is aluminum, but on the other one is plastic. That's all that holds that in. And so we don't want to be driving in the winter and then something comes up and hits this somehow, some way, because I have terrible luck and breaks this and I lose all my fuel. Therefore, the reasoning for this. And then, well, in the meantime, since I'm taking that out, well, why not change the fuel or the water separator filter and the fuel filter? For any of those who doesn't own a diesel and is curious, fuel filters run $103. I just get them a lot cheaper because I have family that works at the dealership and I get stuff at employee pricing. So we're going to take we're going to drain the water separator first, pop that out, replace that, then do the high pressure one up on top. So let's start draining the water separator first. I have to find a frickin' pail because it's going to drain some fuel out of there. What you have to do, crap, it's focusing on the flashlight. Oh, this is going to be really hard because I have a really hard time holding the phone with my cast hand. So in order to, all you literally do is just turn this. This is hard. This pail is like too tall. So see, you can see the little tab. That's all it literally holds that in there. You just let that drain out. And then there's, I don't know, there's like 6 bolts, 5 bolts, whatever it is, to take that off. And then, well, this little clip here. And off to the side. Actually, I'm going to set that up here. That there. So yeah, you just let that drain, and then once that stops draining, you just pop these bolts out, and this drops down, and you put the big filter in there. So I'll be back in a minute here once this is ready to drop, because it's just too difficult to hold the phone with basically one hand. So, and trying not to get fuel on my right hand because of my cast. So we'll get this out of here, and I'll show you in a minute here. I don't know when I'm gonna learn to stop doing maintenance on this until I'm out of this cast because I make more of a mess than it's worth. So I went to loosen the bolts on here. For one, I don't know if I mentioned this in the previous because I didn't look at it. You don't let that drain like consistently. You just let the water drain out a little and you tighten it back up. And you loosen the bolts and you have to drop it really fast. And that is full of fuel. Well, because I'm almost positive this pushes up into like a plunger type thing. So when that's in there, like it keeps dumping fuel. Where when you pull it out, it like closes it. Well, a little more fuel in there than I anticipated, and I couldn't get I didn't have the one bolt 100% loose, and I had to pull my arm out of the way so I didn't get it in on any on my cast because I can't get any flammable stuff on here. Well, I ended up losing a bunch of fuel. I had to jam my arm back up underneath. They had to quick zip the rest of it off. Luckily, I didn't get no fuel on my cast, but I made one freaking hell of a mess in a process. So, yeah, I'm going to have to clean that up now. But I'm going to set my phone on a tripod so I can try to show you this a little bit. And then I got to figure out how to take that little plastic piece off to replace it with that billet aluminum one. So, yeah. So, basically, long story short, get a freaking pan that's bigger than a pail that's wider and lower so you can actually drop this out of there and be quick with it. Pull it out so it stops draining fuel. And yeah, it's going to be kind of a mess either way. So yeah, lesson learned. Because this is my first time doing this anyway. So I'm still learning. So bear with me. Let my mess be your lesson kind of thing. But that one's up there is pretty easy. We'll do this first, but then you just literally pull those 3 clips and then pop those off. I do know if you do not have those completely secured, within a few miles, you can pretty much empty a full tank of fuel in your engine bay because we had a dealership on our last Powerstroke. My mom drove it home or whatever, and she didn't know that they didn't clip the one clip, so it blew the freaking line off and it dumped a whole freaking tank of fuel all over inside the engine bay. By the time she got home, she's like, it did smell like diesel really bad. Well, that was because it literally emptied a full tank of fuel. It didn't run out, but it was damn close. So, yeah. So, we're going to start taking this part. I'm going to put you on a tripod. So, basically, literally all you do is this thing just pops out of here, which is really, goddamn, I got fuel on my cast. Shh, don't tell my doctor. So, this is going to make a effing mess. Be right back. I can't grab it with both hands because I get fuel all over my freaking hand. Oh, that's actually really easy. You literally just turn it all away and it pops up out of there. If I could grab it with both hands, it'd be a lot easier because I could get even pressure on it. Oh, I need a freaking screwdriver. Screw, isn't even a pry bar. So yeah, you literally, oh, I broke the tab off actually. But you literally just pop it up out of there, preferably without breaking the tab. Damn it. But I literally had like little to no pressure on it and it snapped that right off. I'm going to clean mine with brake cleaner because this has a lot of sludge in it. Like a lot. That went all over my cast as well. Oh! So yeah, just kind of try to clean the sludge out of it, change this little freaking gasket. If I can get mine off. Nope, everything else gonna go difficult. Why can't this too? slap the new gasket on. Yep, so just kind of lightly press the new seal in there. Make sure all the shit is out of here. And then literally just snap it back in. Son of a bitch. Oh, hey, look at that. You put it in right, it goes in better. Oh. Because I was doing it wrong. But literally that's it. You just pop it back in there. So we're going to pop it back in there, we're going to move up top. So I'm done. I forgot to put this in. Would have been easier if I would have did it before I already did this, but it's whatever. I cannot see a damn thing. Yeah, that's literally it is. That's it. You just kind of snap it in there and it kind of just clicks in, and yeah. Now we'll put it back in. And since I don't really have decent rags, we're just going to use paper towel. Basically what you want to do is try to put some paper towel or basically a rag or something underneath the 3 lines, because when you pop them off, fuel does come out of them. Alright, so I fought with mine for a bit, so I set the camera down. That last one I really struggled with. I actually had to use a screwdriver to pry it off a little bit. But I got it off, and then you literally just turn this sideways, and it pops out. Pop the new one in, pop things on, and then clip them in. You can only put them in certain spots because they're different sizes, and I'm assuming for that reason. Make sure those are all the way on, because if you don't, you're going to have fuel literally everywhere. So yeah, I can't really stress that enough. I just want to make sure this is on all the way. It's on, give them a little tug, make sure they're on tight. And then, yeah, that's really all there is to it. And then to prime it, I just turned the key on like 4 times from the video that I watched. And that should be enough to prime it. And you can hear the pump going. It's just pretty noisy until it fills up. So yeah, just do that a couple times. We'll do it 4 times. So once I do that cycle 4 times, I'll be back. All right, so I did my 4 primes, and now this time we're gonna start it. I'm gonna actually have to. Hopefully the 4 times is enough. You'll hear the pump kind of turn on and off as it like cycles, and it'll stop. And you can hear once it gets more full, it changes tones. And I'm just gonna let mine idle for a little while and make sure all the air is worked out of it. Make sure that there's no leaks coming out of any of the high pressure lines. Because if you've got leaks going on, you've got problems. Or I shouldn't say you're gonna have problems. Make sure there's no leak stripping down here. That was all previous fuel that I dumped all over trying to do this with one hand. Solid stuff, nice and healthy. I don't know if my filters have been changed in a while. Well, I threw it away now, but the fuel looked kind of dirty. My guess is it hasn't been changed in a while. I don't know. I just bought the truck and I put on about 4,000 or 5,000 miles already. 2, 3, I don't know, something like that. So I don't know when they've been changed, so I'm kind of changing all the fluids on it. Next is going to be the front and rear diffs and transfer case, and then tranny and tranny filter, tranny fluid and tranny filter. Because I'm kind of just trying to do everything, so I kind of roughly have an idea when it's been done. You know, by me, you know, I can tell the front and rear diffs have been done at some point. Just don't know when. So I'd rather do the stuff myself. You know, maybe it's done right before I bought it. I don't know. For me, it's kind of a peace of mind, especially on something that's this expensive. You know, parts aren't cheap when shit breaks because of no maintenance or whatever. So let her idle for a little while, and then yeah, well, give you a few little tiny revs, not really, but kind of give it a couple little revs just to make sure everything's good, and yeah, that should be everything. All right, so there you have it. That's how you change fuel filters. It was a little rough. This is my first time doing it. This is my first diesel, so I mean, I know a lot about diesels, but there's little things that I guess I didn't know from. I watched another video to make sure that I had to. Well, I wanted to see it with the fuel filter under the hood. Why, if there was another getting a clip off. The guy I watched struggle as well, so they just come off that hard. I was afraid to break it because I didn't really want to break it because I kind of like driving my truck and it's my only vehicle. So that third one does come off really hard. Just make sure the clip's all the way open. If you have to, maybe even use a screwdriver. He didn't have to, but I did. He drained the full water separator. I drained a lot of fuel out of mine, but mine never ended where his did. So I don't know if that's just my truck or if you actually have to drain the full thing. Not quite sure with that. So yeah, really all it is just those couple bolts. You drain the water separator, or at least some of the fuel out of it like I did. Mine never really stopped, and I drained probably a gallon or two out, and I was like, yeah, that's don't seem right, but like whatever. And then yeah, underneath the hood is 3 clips. You turn it, pop it out, pop new one in, pop the 3 clips back on, and simple as that. The SPE thing is, I mean, is it really necessary? Probably not. I did it for the sake of, I live in Wisconsin, cold winters, all it takes for, me to go bomb over something and a chunk of snow or ice hits it, breaks it, and then I'm stranded because the fuel's dumping out. For me, it was kind of more of a peace of mind kind of thing. Personally, I think it's more reliable, but most people, the average person, probably will never have any issues with it. Me being in a cold weather state, I figured it was more necessary. With that being said, make sure your fuel filter underneath the hood, the clips are really tight so they don't blow fuel everywhere. We had that happen on one of our other trucks because the dealership never clipped one of the clips or didn't have it all the way on before clipping the clips. And we didn't know about it until we got pretty much all the way home and realized it was dumping fuel everywhere. And yeah, my truck seems a little bit more responsive. I think my fuel filters haven't been changed in a while, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just in my head. I don't know. But this is where we're gonna end this video. There'll be a lot more stuff coming for this truck. This is just a lot of little stuff right now. I'm kind of trying to get the little stuff out of my way while, my hand is broke. Bigger stuff will come in the future. Shit's really expensive. So just stay tuned, hit that bell notification so you guys get notified when I upload a video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.